Okay, hello everyone. This is ToadinWonderland. It feels good to be back, actually. Trying something different. As you can see, we are in a PS4 library this time. Ooh, new territory to explore. So, I was able to get it to work with my setup. Uh, if I haven't shared already, I mean, it's been a while since I've made a proper Let's Play, other than Zelda Wind Waker HD, which, if this is uploaded before or after it, then, well, either I've spoiled one of my projects, which is this one, or I spoiled that I'm returning to Wind Waker HD. Whatever the case is, I'm back. It's good to be back, too. And I wanted to give this a shot because this was something new that I just wanted to try. So I do have a new setup from last time I recorded a proper Let's Play video, or really any gameplay video for that matter. So we're going to see how this turns out. Hopefully things go well. And let's go ahead and get started. If it's not already obvious. Oh, maybe it isn't obvious. We're totally playing Batman Arkham Knight. No, that's actually not the game. Yeah, very narrow liberation on my PS4 because I don't really have a lot of games. Now, this actually isn't all the games I have, but it's the ones that I've played so far, so take it with a grain of salt. No, it's actually going to be the Unfinished Swan, so let's go ahead and get started. And we'll hit start. There might be a little bit of a delay, so if I have like a quick reaction to something, or delayed reaction for that matter, it's because of my setup. It's still very good though for what I'm getting overall, so I shouldn't complain. That also includes editing stuff too. But hey, let's go ahead and get started. This is the Unfinished Swan. As you caught in the intro, this is a game by Giant Sparrow, who's also known for other games such as Flower and even Journey. It's an indie developer, I guess you could say, since it is a smaller base company. But there's really not much to pick from. I mean, I could look at the options if I wanted to, but there's really nothing here that I want to change, honestly. So I'm going to leave it as is. And then toys, which is something we'll get into later. You could buy various items once you collect something called balloons, which that'll make sense once we actually play the game. There's actually some stuff that's locked, including mystery gifts, that don't appear until you've actually played through the game. So there's only 4 chapters. This isn't a long game. I'm only expecting maybe a handful of episodes. I don't have an exact number off the top of my head. Maybe around 10, but that's a very big guess, honestly. The game can be beaten in between 3 to 4 hours, and then if you want 100% it takes about another hour or so after that. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll stay silent for this.
Monroe's mother had always been much better at starting things than finishing them. When she died, she left behind over 300 canvases, not one of them finished, along with Monroe, who felt pretty unfinished himself. The orphanage allowed him to keep only one painting, and so he chose the Unfinished Swan that had always been his mother's favorite. But that night, he woke up to find the swan had disappeared. So he took his mother's silver paintbrush and followed the footprints into a little door he hadn't seen before.
And just kind of suddenly out of the blue, we're in a white void. I'm actually moving the camera, though you probably can't tell that by just looking at the screen right now. So let's push the R2 button. Voila, we've thrown a black paintball. You could actually keep doing this. And hopefully this looks good on the screen. I'm actually looking at the recording. There might be some frame rate issues. I mean, I've yet to look at the editing process for this. But anyway, yes, we start out in a mysterious room that, well, didn't really leave us much of a impression as far as what we're actually doing, other than apparently following what was said to be a swan that came to life from a painting known as the Unfinished Swan. We're actually playing as the character Monroe, and yeah, we're able to throw paintballs. And here, we're just kind of suddenly outside. As you can see, I can throw some more paintballs, and it looks like bamboo shoots. and you can hear different environmental things like birds and some other kinds of animal wildlife going on outside. Oh, I already passed it, but park bench. Just because why not? So, as far as what this game's about, it's kind of like an adventure game. It has a very, very big Alice in Wonderland feel to it, where you have no idea what the heck is going on. You just kind of explore for the sake of exploring. And that's pretty much it. You get curious about something. In this case, instead of a white rabbit, we're following a swan. So I guess, and the swan's even white, so I guess we have some similarities to compare it to. That would be my guess as far as maybe possible inspirations for what drove that to come to play. No, and there's a frog, by the way. Just kind of leaps in the water. And it got ate by something sudden. I promise that creature will actually not hurt you. There's always a bigger fish. Had to get that terrible joke out of the way. But yeah, we're just going to kind of make our way here. We saw some duck prints, or rather swan's footprints. They kind of lead you in a general direction, like right here, for example. So we're going to just keep on going straight. Now, interestingly enough, you don't have to necessarily throw the paintballs to like make your way, if that makes any sense. All this path is actually right here, regardless if you throw any ink or not. So, like right now I'm walking on white path here, but if I throw a paintball, it just makes it appear. So you can technically go through this whole first section and not even throw a single paintball. It is possible. As a matter of fact, one of the most ridiculous PSN trophies I think I've ever seen involves doing that. There is indeed a trophy that requires you to get through this first section without throwing more than 3 paintballs. I kid you not. You do get a gold trophy for it, though. So you get your work's effort for following through with the requirements. But my god, is it hard. And the music changes as we kind of enter what appears to be a palace gate. And there's a statue here with a crown on it. If I throw some paintballs, we'll see that the statue is actually the head of a king. So I actually do know pretty much how this story unfolds throughout the whole way, because I have played through the game before. Now this is the first time I've played it on the PS4 though. I actually played through the PS3 version prior to getting the PS4 version. And I actually didn't have to pay for the PS4 version. I'm assuming it was because I paid already for the PS3 version. So one day I just kind of looked at the PSN store and I pulled up this game again. And I'm like, oh, there's a PS4 version. And lo and behold, I didn't have to pay to download it. So go me. And I'm not even PlayStation Plus right now, so I know that has nothing to do with it. I'm assuming if you just have one version, then you can kind of do like multi-platform crossover. It's like that with other games through Sony, but yeah, it was kind of nice to have this and not have to pay extra to get a more advanced version of the game, I guess you could say, with the graphical updates. I mean, I don't know that there's really necessarily a big change. I mean, right now we're looking at black and white. I mean, how high-res do you want to go with that? To be perfectly honest. That noise that we just heard meant that the swan was heading this way, so we're going to keep on going. Now, like I said earlier, I could just technically walk through this whole entire section and not throw a single paintball. But since you guys are seeing this for the first time, I figured why not go ahead and show everything. So for right here, we kind of made our way up and around from where that statue head was. The game wants you to go this way, though. There's yet another statue down here. And let's just go ahead and rapid fire some stuff. And I do realize I probably missed some collectibles. There is something known as balloons that you can collect. I mentioned that earlier with showing that you could purchase some toys. And no, here's a statue of what is a rooster. The feet made it totally look like a swan for a second, though. We're just going to keep going on through. This is actually, I guess, supposed to be a courtyard because there's just various different statues here. And here's also a statue of a hand holding, I guess it's like a maraca or something. I can't really tell for sure. I mean, it's only a shape with black and white aesthetics, so you be the judge of that if you think I'm wrong. But I'm going to still go with a maraca. And here's a pig. There's some other statues in here too. Now, I know that's supposed to be flag, but... Or actually, no. I was right the first time. It is bacon. It's totally bacon. And even if it isn't, I already called bacon. So, ha! Okay, moving on through. Here was a unicorn. And I could paint it completely. That is the interesting thing. Like, you could make everything black if you wanted to, but it would just take a really long time. So, just gotta be careful with how you control your ink. And if we look up there, there's actually a balloon. That might be the first balloon in the level. I'm not sure. I can't remember how many are in the first level. And I believe they're actually called chapters, not so much levels. The game does actually tell you how many balloons are in each chapter. But you have to go to the chapter select, which doesn't appear until after you've completed the first chapter. So, but it does take you to like a guidebook if you want to revisit chapters. So you don't have to worry about missing stuff the first time around because you can get it again. So we're closer up here now. Go ahead and throw it and get our first balloon. They do serve a purpose. Like I showed earlier, you can purchase toys with them. You actually can get something with one balloon. I can actually pause to find out what that is. We can unlock stop time for balls, which lets you pause balls that are used in midair. Which you can throw like a dozen at one time by doing that. I'm actually not going to purchase that though. I want to wait till later. I'm more focused on unlocking the radar. That way I can kind of snipe some balloons as we play along through the game. So yeah, I know that there were other balloons actually. I'm tempted to go back and try to find one. Wondering if I should do that. Since I'm kind of introducing the game though, I think I'll go ahead and pass on that for now. Again, we can always replay chapters, so I think what I'll do is, for this game, like I said, it's short as it is. I can always revisit chapters and go after stuff that I missed, so we'll just do that. And here where we have this gold T, if you throw an ink ball at it, you actually reveal a page.
Young, arrogant, and amazingly talented. He was convinced no color existed that was good enough for his garden, so he left it white. While he pondered how to create some new colors, his kingdom began attracting settlers, and soon he found himself with bigger problems.
Okay. So yeah, that's going to reveal some story. Hopefully I find them all the first time through. Again, it's just like with the balloons. There are some sections where they might be a little tricky to spot at first, because the only way you know that they're there is by the first gold letter of those storybook pages, so I'll have to be on the lookout for those. Here we're kind of in a big empty room, still following the duck prints. You kind of just smash through the boxes that are here, so I don't know if you had to ink them, you just had to walk right through them. That's going to be a joyous time if I decide to show the trophy that I mentioned about earlier with getting through this section with using only 3 paintballs or less. But we do have an opening here. And there's actually a floorboard. There's something out in the distance. Looks like a hot air balloon ride. But as we can see here, there's something black as well as some swan footprints. So if we follow on through... Come on back! Come on back! That was totally the swan. We gotta get it. And we are at part 2, the watchtower. Okay, I guess they're in parts, not chapters. The chapters are the worlds. From what I recall, if we're going to go by traditional gameplay standpoints... By the way, I'm going to keep playing, because why not? And I do love the music, by the way. That is one other thing I forgot to point out. The soundtrack is actually very relaxing for most of the songs that are in this game. I do recommend just looking up the songs and listening to them. They're very calming and relaxing to listen to. So this is actually a very calm game. I mean, it's very, very casual, I feel. But yeah, going back to what I was starting to say earlier, there are technically, if we're like gonna go by worlds, there are 4 worlds in the game, with multiple parts, and there were some gold urns. This is a trick room, if I remember right. So yeah, there's the urns that I just knocked down from by looking down over here. So you gotta watch. This room does try to trick you out. There's some more swan footprints. Kind of gives you a hint as far as where you need to go. So there's like a crevice up there that we need to reach. See, if we try to go over here, as we can see, I'm kind of just repeating the same path that I was at. So if I look through this door, we kind of see an endless void, if you will. It's one of those paradoxes that I think is really cool, where it's just like the never-ending looking glass, or whatever you'd like to call it. So yeah, here's a set of swan footprints. I think this does give you a hint as far as what you need to do. Oh wow, that's interesting. I'm like barely standing on the ledge right now. I wonder if I can make this jump. Yeah, you're supposed to jump like over here, which I did. And there's a crown symbol above this door. Hopefully I got everything. Again, if I miss balloons, I will do my best to get as many as possible the first time going through these, but I will make a video or two showing the rest of the balloons I might have missed the first time through. I do believe there's like one nearby around here somewhere, so I do want to kind of keep my eyes open for that. And the music stopped, I just noticed. Yeah, the music does have a tendency to just kind of occasionally stop. Yeah, the door's shut. So I don't know if there was any balloons in there or not. Usually how you know that you complete a part is when the path behind you closes. It usually means that you're moving on to the next part of the chapter. So if we step through here... Oh, there's actually a page.
The king's new subjects were tired of white. They were tired of tripping, of banging their shins, of misplacing their homes. So they started painting everything, ruining the king's spotless design. In response, the king outlawed all non-magical brushes and pledged to spend the next month painting shadows for his kingdom.
Okay. So this would probably explain why we are only able to color in black. Maybe. I don't really know that for sure. Anything up in here? It's kind of hard to tell. Maybe not. Anyway, I was starting to explain once we step through here. Maybe. Oh. Maybe you could see it. It's like a silhouette, but there is a balloon here. I'm going to see if I could try to get this one. I might have to aim really high to get it, though. Oh, got it. Sweet. Okay, that was pretty cool. I was glad I was able to get that one. That is a very easily missed balloon from what I'm aware of. I've seen a lot of people apparently miss that one and not even realize it's there for you to grab. So yeah, moving on through. There's actually objects forming without us having to use our paint to make the way through. Ooh, what is that? Even Monroe, the character we're playing as, is kind of admiring what that was. I believe that was the fish we saw earlier that ate the frog. Interesting. So moving on through still.